Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. Are you wondering how you should be spending your money in EDH?
We're here to tell you.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. If you like being told how to spend your money, then you're going to love me plugging our TCG Player affiliate link in the description. Click the link, buy the cards, check out, and because you started with the link, TCG Player sends us some money courtesy of them. You spend no extra money and support the channel. Whoa!
We have an active Kickstarter for gameplay, so head over there if you want to support our gameplay and making it that much better.
Please.
And last thing, daily content. We have daily content.
We do daily content. And today is no exception. What are we doing today?
Today, we are going over 15 cards. We're going to say the card, say the price, and then we're going to tell you if we think it's worth buying. We're going to tell you the reasons we think it's worth buying or the reasons we don't think it's worth buying.
Yet another benefit of Discord, because every one of these cards was submitted by someone from our Discord.
Yes. So the first one, the very first one, submitted by Cadit, who actually suggested one last video as well.
Wow. It's
Food Chain, and it's currently $59. Overall, I think Food Chain is a poopy card if you're not doing one specific thing with it, and that's comboing off.
If you can't go infinite, I would say don't buy it. If you can't go infinite, it's probably like the centerpiece of your entire deck. So if you're playing literally a Food Chain deck, it has to be worth it. Otherwise, you can't play the deck. And if you're not, I just wouldn't go anywhere near this for $60.
Yeah, I think the easiest thing to say is no. Unless you are playing exactly a Food Chain deck, which obviously requires Food Chain, Food Chain's not worth buying. Most decks can't take advantage of this in a very beneficial way, as you are simply giving up too many resources to get mana, and it's just not going to work well.
Yeah, some of the Food Chain decks are like Prosh. I know Galta can mess around with Food Chain, and then obviously there's other ones that are very specific, maybe like a Chulane deck. Most decks, 90%, it's a no. But overall, no asterisks. You know what the asterisk is. Next, submitted by Toaster, the Toaster. Necrophones, $41 for Necrophones. This is like top 5 cards in the format. It's probably, just because I'm doing this now, it's probably like Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Gaia's Cradle, this. Or, the first 3 in any order.
Yeah, $41 is just, it's not even close. It's the easiest yes ever. This card's just way too good. Honestly, there's arguments for it to be banned. Doesn't matter. That's not the discussion in this video. This card is incredibly powerful. It is $41 powerful, and you just won't regret having it in any list except for maybe a 5-color one where it's tough to cast.
Yeah, it warps the entire game around it. It's now the best thing in play. You're now the #1 threat. No questions asked. This is what's happening now. And usually, they can't kill you in one turn, so you just untap and play like 85 spells, even in a fair deck. This card is nuts. If you're ever going to ask the question of, should I buy a fetch land or Necrophones? Not even close, Necrophones.
Yeah, also, the thing about Necrophones is it doesn't matter what power level you're playing. It can be, if you use it fairly, you can use it to drop to 7 at your end step every single time. That's the fair way to use it.
That's messed up.
And that's busted. It's busted. You probably want like 1 or 2 ways to gain a little bit of life, and suddenly this card goes from being the best card in your deck to the best card in your deck by a mile.
The best card at the table. Next, what do we got?
We have Melon. Wow, that's who suggested it. Melon suggested Tainted Pack, and it's $8. And $8 might sound really cheap for Tainted Pack because people are used to it being hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I think the answer is no, unless you're comboing with it like Food Chain. This card is just not a very good Magic card for any deck not looking for specific combo pieces.
Yep, you put Thassa's Oracle in your deck, and then you go, I'm never quite satisfied with the top card, and you mill yourself out, and then, you can even do it in response to the Thassa's Oracle trigger, which is probably what people do. And you mill your whole deck and you win.
Yeah, I'm not super interested in this card for a deck that's not hyper competitive. So I'd say no, don't spend $8 on Tainted Pact unless you're specifically doing that one thing. Then you can consider it, but overall, no.
I think a trap that newer players could fall into is you look and you see what are the best decks in the format. Mm-hmm. This is going to show up and it's going to be a card in lists, but just kind of porting it over to your random black deck is a mistake. So this might actually be... It'll be like a detriment in your deck.
I think Demonic Consultation is the same way, where it's like you'll see that card, you'll think I should just throw this in the deck, but don't. It's there for a very specific reason. Next is Urza's Saga. It's $23. Do hit from Modern Horizons 2. This card's really strong, and honestly, $23 seems like a lot, but I think it's just worth it. If you don't even need to have super many targets, but you can put a couple targets in your deck. You always have Soul Ring. The fact is, this is a card that can make bodies to protect you, chump block, even be big in the right deck. Also, yeah, if we didn't mention, we're always talking about putting this in the right deck. That's kind of important.
Right. You can't just put it in a deck. But the problem, Urza Saga, I'm wondering if you can just put it in a deck. It's so easy to Sun Titan or Seven's Reclamation or whatever your deck, your land back, and just keep doing it over and over. It gets Skull Clamp, it gets Mana Crypt, it gets Soul Ring. These are like the best cards in the format. You can even get like Soul Guide Lantern, Nile Spellbomb, Pithing Needle, whatever. Like, there's millions of cards you can get. It's really strong. And $23 isn't even that crazy.
Yeah, this card is very good in Commander. It is one of the best cards from MH2, no doubt, for Commander. And $23, you should get it. If you have a deck that you think, yeah, this deck wants this card, get it, because you won't regret it. I would gladly spend $23 on this all day.
Yeah, well, like, I'm just thinking of random decks, like in a Tristani deck. This just goes in. It doesn't even look like it goes in. But you have Skull Clamp, Soul Ring, and then like one other target. It's already amazing. You populate the Karnstructs, and they get even bigger, and you gain more life.
I think that you only need the 3-card package you mentioned. I like it. Soul Ring, Skull Clamp, and Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah. That's already just a 3-card package that's always going to be amazing. Soul Guide Lantern's always going to be great. It's Graveyard Hate combined with maybe cycling a draw card. And we already know Soul Ring. We already know Skull Clamp. Those cards are busted in half.
Yeah, and in non-green decks, you still have Expedition Map and Wayfarer's Bubble to go get stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Urza Saga, big thumbs up from us.
Next, Sylvan Library, suggested by Panda First.
It's
$44 currently.
Give your opinion.
Now, Sylvan Library is like a contentious one. We've been low on it. We've been medium on it. We've never really been high on it. It's a really good card if your games go quick and you just need cards and the game, there's a lot of pressure on you. But in a regular game, I think for your average Commander game and your average Commander deck, if you're not cantripping or getting any extra draw trigger bonus off of this, I would say no. And my general sense is no for this.
Yeah. Sylvan Library is a really tough one. It is a very good card, and as you go up in power, this card gets very good as turns 1 through 5 become incredibly important.
As the game length shortens?
Yes, as the game length shortens, Sylvan Library gains a huge, huge buff. Now, is it worth $44? It's close. This is one of the closest ones on here. I'm going to say, yeah, it probably is overall worth $44. Its strength, it does perform at $44 strong often, but you have to also be aware that you're going to spend $44 on this, and there will be games where you draw it in turn 8, you play it, and it doesn't do anything. That's going to happen.
Or sometimes you're under pressure, and it's just Halimar Depths every turn.
Exactly. So there is negatives to this card, and as long as you're willing to deal with them, it is worth the $44. But you just have to be aware that you will spend a good chunk of change on this card, and then it might perform very poorly. There are going to be times where it's like 7 games in a row, it was the worst card you drew, because that's the downside of it. But the upside is incredible. When you play this on turn 2 or turn 1, you're going to be like, holy crap, how do I ever lose?
Yeah, for me, I think generally no. It's just not going to synergize with your deck, and I think you can match the power for less money depending on what your deck is. The next card we have suggested by Asmo is Cabal Coffers, which, to my surprise, is $21. This is one of the best and most annoying cards in the format. I'm in for $21. I'm in all day. I'm in for $40.
Yeah, this is some of the best things certain decks can be doing. If you're looking to go big mana and you're in one or two colors, this is an auto staple in any black deck, mono or 2 colors. I'm in. I mean, there's no chance I'm not touching this card. Pair with the Urborg from last episode, and I'm in. I mean, I just think Cabal Coffers provide such a great advantage in the land slot that it's worth getting. And one thing about it though, to be aware, I think personally you should put this in a spell slot.
Yeah,
I do believe that when you build your deck, build your land base, and then put Cabal Coffers as if you're going to have 37 lands in your deck, this is the 38th land.
Unless you're mono black.
So you want to make sure this is reliably going to be making mana. So I like putting it in a land slot personally.
Not
a land slot, a spell slot.
I think it's one of the reasons I think Cabal Coffers is so lame is that the fixing is so good. Mm-hmm. So I'm still playing this in 3-color decks. You put it in a spell slot. You have all of the fetch lands can go get you swamps. Like if you're a Mardu deck, well, you can play the swamp duels, lean on cards that are actually swamps and dual lands, and just you have a Triome too. And Cabal Coffers is just going to do things for you. And you have an Urborg as a 2-card combo. Throw an Expedition Map in your deck, and now you're just kind of free roll a stupid Cabal Coffers. You're going to get tons of mileage out of this card in like every deck you could build.
Absolutely. Next is suggested by Mr. Bird. That's the Mr. Bird. It's Cyclonic Rift, and it's $26. Cyclonic Rift, obviously known as one of the best board rips in the whole format. I wanted to talk about this card, and I know we're talking about mostly from a power perspective. This card isn't worth $26 for the sake of fun, honestly. And it's something that is unique to like any card on this list because most of them don't really prevent too much fun overall. This one does. It is the least fun, one of the least fun cards in the format, and it's often hated on. I have taken out of my decks to make games more fun, and then when I sit down at the table and one of my friends plays it, I get annoyed because it's such an annoying card in the way it performs. Now, is it powerfully worth it? Yes. Fun? Don't spend $26.
I think this is a card I stopped including in my more for funsies decks, but I still think it's worth $26.
Yeah.
If you want to build a deck and you want to do things with it and actually push it, see how far you can go, 100%. I think you should buy this card at $26. It's really strong. It's so versatile. 2 mana, emergency, 1 for 1, well, bounce for 1, and 7 mana. Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that if you're looking to have a ton of fun in EDH and your main goal is, it's not, obviously you can build a deck with Cyclonic Rift. That's incredibly fun. I'm talking about from like a perspective of the table. I think this is one of those cards that like everyone at the table is happier when you don't include it in your deck overall. So overall, just, yeah, obviously it's worth it power-wise. If you're looking to make the experience better for everyone at the table, maybe not.
Yeah, if you don't have any and you're not sure, hopefully this explanation helped.
Yeah.
It wasn't confusing. Number 8 now is I'm Pico suggests Mana Drain, which is all the way down to $44. It was, 100 and something for the longest time. It's counter spell and you get that much mana. I'm starting to come around for $44. They lost me at 120, at 80, at 1,000 or whatever it was before. But I don't know, $44 for like the best counterspell that costs mana.
Yeah. Obviously, there are better counterspells. They all are free. That's like the thing that the best one that is going to cost you mana every single time is this one. And yeah, it's probably worth $44. You don't even need much synergy for this card. Just make sure that you have colorless mana to be spent. So like,
make sure every card in your deck doesn't cost green.
Yeah, exactly. If it's all green pips in your deck, don't put this in. It's not very good. Also, I don't know why
you're playing Gigantosaurus and Mana Drain in the same deck.
Yeah, that's a weird deck. Don't do that. $44 probably worth it. I think your description is great. That it's the best counter spell that always costs mana.
I'm in. $44. Get in my deck.
Yes.
You can literally put it in any blue deck. It's that good.
Next is Andrew W. suggests Mystic Remora, which is currently $9. Yes. It's not even close. I am always shocked that this card stays so low. I know it is a common from Ice Age. Okay, a common. But it's only been printed in Ice Age. This card has never been reprinted. And it is shocking to me that it is still $9. Now, that being said, I just pulled 20 of them out of my bulk collection. So obviously I'm biased. But yeah, I really think this card is not even close. It's worth $9 all day.
I was curious what you were going to say about it because my summation is very similar. It was $4. Back when it started getting, the hype train started growing, like, hey guys, this is just another heuristic study. It's like, yeah, it is. Sometimes it's better. $9 feels like I'm getting away with something. I would like back. I think there's an old video of us highly recommending you just buy like 6 of them for $5. And now that it's up to $9, I think it might have a snowball effect where one day we wake up and it's $25 because somebody buys them out. I think that's totally reasonable. I would still buy 5 for $9.
Yeah. I don't know what the price is where I start considering not buying them, but I know it's not even close to $9.
Yeah.
If this was $20, I'd probably still say it's worth it.
The $20 would be weird, but you have to not do some cost fallacy and be like, oh, I could have gotten it for $4, so I shouldn't get it for $20. It's like, it's still a great card.
Yeah, exactly. Next, Fibblethip suggests Homeward Path. This is $13. This isn't even close. This is the easiest no I've ever seen. I have one deck it's in. And that's it. It's a Ineas deck, and so I can give away a permanent and then get it back, or a creature. This is relying on what your opponents are playing. Otherwise, it's a colorless land. This card is not very good. It just isn't.
We had this. Way back we did a lands to avoid video, and this was in it. And it was just lands you should generally avoid always, unless there's some rare exception. And this was there, and I was looking like Homeward Path. I wonder what that costs. $13. Whoa, that feels like I'm getting absolutely ripped off because if this was 1 cent, I'm just not putting it in my deck. It just doesn't hit the power or the fixing threshold I'm looking for. So at $13, I feel like you're setting money on fire. I mean, okay, me personally, I feel like I would be setting money on fire buying a Homeward Path. I know people say it does great things for them. Maybe it does. Even if it could, I'm not paying $13.
This card does have a high ceiling because when you sit down if you sit down against a Tibble deck, wow.
You're just like crossing your fingers, though. It's so weird.
Exactly. I don't want to do that. I don't want to cross my fingers. I don't want to have this bad land. There are so many good utility lands. The utility land slots aren't just these huge free rolls because there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
You get to put like 6, 7, 8 in a deck depending on how many colors you're playing. But it doesn't change the fact that you want them to be the best they can be I don't want this corner case Homeward Path. $13, not close to worth it for me.
It's opportunity cost. What are you giving up by playing Homeward Path? You're giving up a land that does something every single game.
Yeah, exactly.
Next is Popicus suggesting Terror of the Peaks. It's that 5/4 dragon that Warstorm surges, and it's $23. It's still at kind of standard mythic fun prices, which is a little high.
To be fair, I don't think this card's going to go down. It's going to be a big splashy mythic for Commander forever. Is it worth $23? That's hard. That is an expensive dragon. It's big and it's splashy. Yes, I'll say yes. It's probably worth it. The card is very strong. The simple fact of the matter is Warstorm Surge was a fringe playable card, and now they put it on a body for your creature decks. That is incredible.
I think I'm going to say no, with the caveat that you should get it if your deck has ways to vomit out a lot of creatures at once. If you have this, if you have like a Living Death deck, now maybe I would put Terror of the Peaks in because it just kills people. If you're just trying to play a 6-drop next turn, I don't think I'd buy this.
Yeah, I mean, I am playing in the big 6-drop deck, my Stompy deck, and it's very good. It just demands an answer every single time. And
that is a lower power deck, though.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So I think it is worth it. BZ says no. Moving on, this is
Subcuteness
Milk. I don't know what that is.
Something.
Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth is what he suggests, and it's $9. Not even close. The easiest yes I've ever said. This might even be easier than Mystic Remora. This is an auto-include in every single green list.
This is actually the best land from Modern Horizons 2. This is better than Urza Saga just because it's 0 effort, fixing for green across the board, with the added bonus of giving your opponents forests if that matters. Sometimes it does.
It also just goes in any deck. It's just so good.
Yeah.
If you're playing green, you want to put this in your deck. The downside of helping your opponents once in a while is super worth it because you always help yourself. I love in 3-color decks. I love when I draw like my Urbor or my Yavimaya because I'm like, all right, this fetch land now gets the other 2 colors and it'll automatically be a third. Or I don't even have to crack my fetch land. What? Bonus upgrade because now my fetch land is a forest.
Well, let's also talk about Ancient Tomb and Mana Confluence. It saves you life when you don't need to use it. So, over the course of the game, this could gain you 8 life if you don't need to use that Ancient Tomb. This card's amazing. I really have to hunker down and buy like 4 of these because I only have 1. And it just needs to go in all my decks, and I need to suck it up and purchase it because all my decks will be better for it.
I mean, I'm on the same side as you. I really have to do it too. I mean,
even 2-color decks.
Sometimes, I tend to upgrade my decks in chunks where I wait
every 3 months.
Every 2 or 3 sets, and then it's like, okay, now I'll get all the stuff I want for it and do the chunky upgrade.
Yeah, every 3 sets, so every 3 months.
Yeah, that's fair. Next, Jacob S suggests Torments of Hellfire, which is $18. Yeah, it's worth it. It's the best X-Spell finisher we have.
Here's your feel bad of, remember when Omega came out and remember when
This is a bulk rare.
Came out? It was a bulk rare, but I don't think it was ever a bulk rare, but it was like $3.
I really do think it was like 50 cents.
You could see from the point it came out, it had this little price chip on its shoulder because it was an Exsanguinate variant.
Mm-hmm. This card is just very good. It is by far the best way to finish off the game with your big mana black decks. The card is it's too much. It's almost always you can make the number big enough that your opponents don't have choices. Your opponents either choose die or get completely devastated to the point that I can't win the game, which is pretty much dying.
Yeah, this is your late game anticlimactic finish.
I hate it.
Play my Cabal Coffers in my 3-color deck, feel like I'm cheating, and then play this for 8, and you're just like, what does your deck do again? Well, it beats you. It does. It beats you. Torments of Hellfire is great. $18 for me, a little on the fringe because there's other ways to spend your mana, but I think it's still worth it. Just forget what it used to cost and pick them up.
Yeah.
I do think though, we'll do a tangent. I don't like Exsanguinate. Exsanguinate I think is way worse than this, and I wouldn't pay the $9 price tag on Exsanguinate ever.
Completely fair. Last thing about Torment of Hellfire that I wanted to say was, yeah, you said anticlimactic. I could not agree with you more. These are the most boring ways for games to end. It's just like, this huge back and forth battle. This for 30. Okay, cool.
Separate from power, but we're just kind of saying this card's a little
lame. Next, Petrarch suggests Imperial and Recruiter, which is $8. Another easy yes. These creatures that enter in Tutor are very, very good. Recruiter the Guard, Imperial Recruiter, they're just great. Now, Imperial Recruiter is a little worse because red doesn't have as much of a creature love as white does. That doesn't change anything. This card is still very good. This card gets Kiki, which is, I think, one of the coolest things of it because it gets Kiki. You play Kiki, you copy it, you get something else.
Right, and that thing If you're going for Cutthroat, it could just be some white creature that untaps Kiki for infinites or Deceiver Exarch or whatever. I thought the start card was $30. It's $8. Okay. I really just, if you're anything like me, maybe this was just a PSA that this card is $8 and not $30.
Yeah, this card, it's incredibly strong. Creature tutors are good.
Really good.
Yeah, absolutely get Imperial Recruiter at $8. Last one for us, we suggested by Tourist Omar. It's Yawgmoth Thran Physician coming in at $18. I cannot praise this card enough, and we can't praise it enough on this channel.
We do. We praise it plenty, but we can't praise it enough.
We can't praise it enough because this card is incredible, and it deserves all the praise it gets. It is an incredible Magic card for any deck with a high density of creatures.
Which is a lot of black decks.
Yeah.
Black, red, and black, green are already all over that. Black, white could easily accomplish that, and then your 3-color black decks can be whatever you want. This is just one of the best creatures, like for me. Just like one of the best creatures in the format. I mean, I don't know where it is in the power rankings, but it's up there. It is a threat every time. It's always removal. They can't really kill it without you getting a ton, whatever value you want. If you have any board states, like, all right, kill that, kill that, kill that, kill that, draw 4 cards.
Yeah, again, it's 100% worth $18. It's one of the best creatures in the format. It's just going to continue being one of the wrecking forces because even though it's incredibly good, it's not broken. And yeah, it's annoying sometimes. It's like, oh my god, Yawgmoth, he's got like 7 creatures on board. You can draw 7 cards.
It's great.
Kill 7 things on board. Right.
But yeah, it's just a great card.
It's so good.
For $18, yes, I think anyone with a Commander collection who likes to build decks should just have one. Because it's going in a deck you build. It's just amazing.
Absolutely. Completely agree. But that is the end of our video, and that is all the cards we're going over for today. Special shout-outs to all of our patrons. Love you guys all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable.
Yes, and I would say stick around for the tidbit because we have a special little presentation for you.
Oh, yeah.
But for now, TCG Player, link in the description. Click it, go to the site, buy your cards, check out, spend money on them, and now TCG Player sees that process started with our link and goes, we're going to give the Nitpicking Nerds free money. So I would love it if you would help give us free money. It doesn't cost you anything. It just costs you buying Magic cards, and we all do that.
Yeah, exactly. There's also our Kickstarter's running. Go help fund our stretch goals. We would appreciate that very much. Kickstarter's going through September 27th.
We want that anti-Nitpicking Nerds deck. I want to see it happen. I mean, we're close.
Yeah, I mean, the gameplay
20 days, I think.
The gameplay is happening, so all your money will be going toward making our production that much better.
Maybe getting some celebrities in. Who knows?
Ooh.
Trying to do some networking with our money.
I can make that noise. What's the last thing?
It's time for the Discord shout out, and then it's time for the tidbit.
Holy crap! It's dark in here.
Ooh.
And look at our new neon sign. This was worth every penny. It looks so cool, and it is one of my favorite things I've ever spent any money on. So let's look at. We got some modes.
Yeah, we have a remote that does a bunch of different stuff.
We do.
So we're just gonna show off
what
this silly sign does for the tidbit.
Yeah, we have this. Oh.
Ooh,
it's
that's what you're gonna see on the end card.
It's like a classic neon sign. Like this is. I love that you obviously just saw that it can just stay lit normal because neon signs have been improved over the years. But this is like the old school neon sign that could not stay lit evenly. What else?
What else do we have? We have the fade, where now every 1 second you can't see us.
Okay, hold on. Legitimately, one of these has a seizure warning. So seizure warning. One of them is incredibly bright and it flashes.
Lights warning.
Flashing lights warning for anyone who has epilepsy or anything along those lines. It's not that one. This one's okay.
This is not that.
I think it's the next one.
This is what the patrons are helping make possible.
Yeah, you guys
screwing around in a dark room.
Yeah. There's this one. I think.
Whoa! Oh my God, that one hurts. Oh, gee, what is this? That's like a machine gun.
This one's broken.
Well, that's a weird one.
It just looks broken.
That's like the flashing at the end of our end card.
That's the last one. And then like obviously it dims.
Yep.
Classic move.
We could do everything with this.
I think that's all we got. It definitely, but yeah, we can dim down like boop 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 boop.
Now that's
awesome. So cool, and thank you all for supporting us to the point that we got to buy a freaking neon sign.
It's awesome. I cannot wait. And the other neon sign that we have is going to go down in the gameplay set when that pops up.
Yes, thank you everybody for supporting us. Like seriously, this is just every milestone along the way. I cannot be grateful for everybody who watches these videos.
40,000 subs. We're at 41,000 subs now.
Seriously, thanks. Just thank you to anybody who made this silly sign possible.
Yes.
Peace out, Tribe Scouts.